How's it going, everybody? It's me, CJ. Today, I'm here with the owner of the local MMA promotion, Rise of the Prospects, Cage Series Tucson, Jennifer Richardson. So Jennifer, you've had um, a lot of promotions, none of which happened on tribal lands, but throughout, I guess, your career as an MMA promoter, you've had to deal with a lot of fighters who've fought on tribal lands before, whose records come from fights on tribal lands, and also just dealing with other promotions who have events on tribal lands. So why is it that so many MMA promotions end up on these tribal lands?
Well, I think a lot of times promoters, especially promoters that are starting out, find it easier to go to tribal lands because there is not a lot of regulations for the most part. A lot of promotions start out that way because it's cheap and they can get away with a lot of stuff like less medicals and things that make fighters not want to fight because it's expensive. But also it's just easier. It's like you can make a lot more money, you can sell a lot more tickets, and you don't have as much overhead.
All right, that's pretty interesting. Um, but would you say that like all MMA promotions on tribal lands are like technically bad or like manipulative towards the fighters? What would you say, like, are there any like good aspects for fights on tribal lands?
Oh, there's definitely good, like, reservations, I should say, like casinos on reservations that actually have their own athletic commission. And the main reason for having an athletic commission is they protect the fighters with such things as blood work, physicals, eye exams. So there's a lot of stuff that actually protects the fighter. So I'd say the casinos, like Casino del Sol here in Tucson, is a perfect example. They have their own tribal athletic commission, and they're really good. And they also have stipulations where you have to have all those medicals in order to fight. The problem that we run into with the unsanctioned fight on tribal lands is that those records don't actually go into a fighter's records. Arizona has no jurisdiction. The state of Arizona has no jurisdiction over tribal lands, and that can be hard and frustrating at times for a promoter in the regular state of Arizona.
Okay, interesting. I've heard you mention this before, but what would you say like a lot of local MMA shows are kind of manipulating tribal governments or like manipulating fighters even into going into unsafe conditions?
I think manipulation may not be the right word, but it's easy to get fighters to fight, especially ones that are not educated on tribal lands, because getting medicals is expensive. And in the state of Arizona, we make sure that everyone has a HIV, hepatitis B, hepatitis C test, but a lot of the tribal lands don't require that. And like for an uneducated fighter who's just starting out, that can be really dangerous. So I think in some ways they are taking advantage of tribal lands because some of these casinos love to make the money and see the revenue come in, which I understand, and that's fair, but they don't understand how promoters are treating fighters and not being safe on their respect.
All right, very interesting. Thank you for your time today, and yeah.